This is Paul.
Yeah.
The victim.
Yeah.
Impact of domestic violence on victims and their children is significant.
Mm.
Most victims of domestic violence try many times to leave the relationship before successfully freeing themselves.
Mm.
Some live with offenders because the alternatives upon leaving
Mm.
are bleaker and more precarious to their overall well being than conditions in the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
For example, victims may recant or minimize the abuse to avoid further violence, poverty, living in a shelter, or homelessness. In fact, the majority of homeless men are victims of domestic violence.
Mm-hmm.
Economic issues are a major issue in domestic violence. And evidence shows the rates of violence against men decline as household income increases.
Mm.
In recent years, more than 95% of violent incidents happened in households with incomes less than $75,000. Oh. Rates of violence in the lowest income households are almost 15 times higher than those with the highest incomes. The risk of men being killed by their intimate partners 8 times higher in households with guns. 20 times higher than there is in a history of domestic violence. Ouch. Now, I find that somewhat interesting.
Yeah.
That I'm a homeless man
Yes.
that has been a victim of domestic violence. And for some reason, me being homeless
Yeah.
is not included in the reasons why my wife is able to continue with the relationship that I want to have separated from. Now, for 4 years and 8 months, now, I've informed you that I would like to have a divorce from my wife.
Yeah.
And when I mentioned on November 20th of 2015,
Yes.
as a homeless man trying to escape domestic violence,
Yeah.
as much as you don't think of the validity of the actual lawsuit of my homelessness, yes, because I want to escape from my wife, I feel as a man that if we had that same $200,000 income when we first got married,
Yes.
the whole accusation of domestic violence would be significantly, statistically, materially diminished because of the income that we had when I was a financial consultant. Now, recent years, more than 95% of violent incidents happened in households with incomes of less than $75,000. Now, for my poor wife and her having to support my 5 sons for the last 9 years, having to live on welfare and complain about me not paying child support because of my homelessness, I noticed that every time there was a court hearing, I never got any death problems. No!